I'd like to welcome you to the Akron Fair Lawn Hilton. Also welcome you to our 29th Annual Ohio Employee Ownership Conference. My name is Roy Messing. I'm the Director of the Ohio Employee Ownership Center. The theme to this year's conference is engaging employee ownership. You'll have ample opportunity to witness that theme today. Today we'll have two keynote sessions. We have individuals from two organizations who have really researched employee ownership and engaged employee ownership to support it to be all that it could be. It really helps the businesses improve and the individuals improve themselves. The success of employee ownership comes with a combination of the culture as well as the ownership. The two have to be tied together. In comparison with non-ESOP companies, ESOP companies with participatory cultures have 12% higher wages, 2.5 times greater retirement accounts, 4.5% greater productivity, and 2.7% improvement post-ESOP return. And this adds up over a great period of time, so you can triple your account over 40 years. It's a long-term venture, but it really adds up for the participants. We've all heard stories about many participants who had what you call the common jobs, who have retired and walked away with seven-figure paychecks, or seven-figure checks for their retirement. We have a thriving employee ownership community in Ohio. We have over 100 companies that we've worked with. We've helped, OEOC has helped these companies become employee-owned. That represents over 15,000 workers. And our latest survey, which is a little dated, we're having a new one this year, represents over $300 million in those employees' accounts at the company, so it's very impactful. The growth of employee-owned companies did not magically happen just because the employees became owners. The businesses are conventionally run businesses like every others, except they have that extra piece about being employee-owned. And they have to properly execute their business plan and their work to really become the successes that they are. The vast amount of resources that we've drawn on in the past, we've had professional service providers, economic developers, and the employee-owned company themselves are in the room today. So I want to kind of highlight who's here a little later on as we go through. But you would have noticed as we had our slides going through this morning, we highlighted our sponsors, our professional service providers, and our employee-owned companies. So we're very proud of those who participate in the conference here today. This conference isn't successful just because of our center itself. We have a wide range of support, and we like to recognize that range of support. Obviously, everyone's in the room today. We're glad that you're here from the employee-owned companies and our sponsors as well. But we do want to highlight the sponsors who really went above and beyond to help make this a success for us. So as I go through, I'd like to announce who our gold sponsors are. We'll go through the levels. Professional service providers, we'd like to have those folks from those companies stand and be recognized. Remain standing until we get through all the sponsors. Our gold sponsors, our top level sponsor, Apple Growth Partner, Crow Horwath, please stand. Hawkins, Parnell, Thaxton, and Young. Silver sponsors, McDonald Hopkins, Menke and Associates, SES Advisors. Our bronze sponsors, Atomy Valuation Advisors, Blue Ridge ESOP Associates, Comstock Advisors, Dinsmore and Scholl, ESOP Economics, ESOP Plus, Fiduciary Trust Services, GBQ Consulting, InHealth Mutual, Craig DeVault, Maloney Novotny, Morgan Lewis, Shoemaker Loop, Stout Reeses Ross, Olson Mills Law Firm, and Neotech, the Northeast Ohio Trade and Economic Consortium. Let's give these, first recognize them. These are folks who really help us pull this off. Let's give them a big round of applause. Thank you. A couple other individual sponsorships that we want to draw your attention to. For those employee owners who walked into the conference today, you have a book, the SAIC Solution. And this comes to us, it's the second edition, comes to us from the work of Marianne Beister and her group. And we also had some sponsors who helped fund that, so all of you got to walk away with that this morning. So if I could have the following individuals stand. Marianne Beister of the Foundation for Enterprise Development, Tim Yoakum of ESOP Plus, and Pete Schuler of Curl Horwath. Here's someone. Thank you. Phil D, if I could have Phil D. Dominicus from Mankey stand. He is sponsoring the afternoon coffee. Phil's here, so we will see him later. But and Tom Potts, Fiduciary Trust Services. He sponsored the pens for today's conference as well. Is Tom in the room? Okay. Well, let's give him a hand of applause for doing that for us. Our other professional members provide a great deal of support for our annual conference. In fact, a lot of them have ads in our program. As you scroll through there, you'll see a lot of those folks represented. They do a great job of making you aware of what services are out there, and we lean on them heavily to really provide a lot of the detail for our conference. So I would like to have all the professional members stand as well, please. Service providers. We're all shy. Let's give them a big, okay, they're getting there. Give them a big round of applause. Thank you. A little bit about the conference for those who are new today. We'll have a keynote speaker this morning. We have a lunch keynote. And we'll have 17 breakout sections that will hit on a variety of topics. Those we'll have one set of sections this afternoon, a track of sections, and then this morning, and then this afternoon we'll have 2 of those sessions. Folks who will be speaking there include ESOP companies, worker-owned cooperatives, economic development organization, legislative staff, government agency, and service providers. This conference is really a great success due to those folks who volunteer their time and effort in bringing that content to you. So thank them after you attend their sessions. Would like you to call your attention to our conference program, page 5. That's the map of the hotel. So when you get to your point in time when you're going to be going to your rooms, you need to follow that map. One session this morning will be in the Wyndham next door, or the DoubleTree next door. That's a dynamic governance session. When you go out the front door, you turn right and you go to the hotel right next door, and there will be signs to guide you through there. So that's only one group, so we wanted to highlight that for you. Today I get to be somewhat the face of the organization, but there's a lot of folks at OEOC who really make this conference and our programs work. I'd like to recognize them now. Chris Cooper, if Chris would stand. You see them. Chris is a very familiar face. Chris does a great deal of things for us. I like to say he's a jack of all trades, but he doesn't like that title. But he does a large amount of the content, the programming. He's our technical guy, so we can pull off all that for you. So Chris does a phenomenal job. Kelly Fitz, who you all met when you walked in this morning, she's our office administrator. She was behind the name tag table there. She's the center for our communications for the program, registrations, making arrangements for the rooms, and ordering food and refreshments. So this is pulled off by a lot of her hard work and diligence, I will say. So we have a couple other folks. Jackie Yates, who's in the crowd today. She's a retired Kent State political science professor, works with us on specific projects. She's working with us on that longitudinal study that I mentioned. You also would have hopefully seen Bill McIntyre and Steve Clem, who have retired, but they've come out of retirement to help us out today. So I'd like to have a big round of applause for all the staff. Thank you. Now we'll move to the head table, guest at the head table. You've already met Liaison Ross, so we'll mention the other folks who are here. Dick Peterson's with us from the Rocky Mountain Employee Ownership Center. Dick has attended how many of these in a row now, or your center has?
Every year since '09.
Every year since '09, so that's 6, 7.
Whatever.
So Dick is trying to replicate a lot of what we do out in the Denver area. So we're very happy to have him today. Steve Baker, the Great Game of Business, he'll be our keynote. So he'll have an exciting conversation for us, get us engaged. Josh Prest of Rob Portman's office, who had the comments. Sarah Lowry, U.S. Senator Sherrod Brown's office. John Kiley, Vistula Management Company, and Bill Rosenberg with Columbia Chemical. So these folks are just represent an important part of our community. So we're happy to have them here and join us today and participate. You know, oftentimes when we have sessions, when we have smaller groups, we like to go around and do introductions. We've done a little bit of the introductions so far, but with over 370 people, that's not very practical. So what we'd like to do is highlight, highlight some of the folks who are in the crowd for you. Let's start with those ESOP companies and cooperatives. We have over 60 employee owners in the, 60 employee-owned companies in the room today with over 180 employees. So I think that's a great representation from our community. So all those of you who are employee owners, if you'd please stand. I think that's fantastic. We also have, we mentioned the professional service providers. We also have folks from the federal public sector, nonprofit, churches, foundation, educational institutions, economic and community development, Chamber of Commerce folks. We'd like to have you stand as well because you provide a lot of support for the folks, for us and for the folks who are out there. So if all those who fit those categories would stand, please. One group that we're very excited to see, and these are the folks who are exploring employee ownership. We have about 20 folks from 7 companies who are here today to learn more about employee ownership and see if it's right for them and their company. So we're very excited to have them. My advice to those is to talk to a lot of people in the employee-owned companies who have presentations. Talk with service providers. They can help guide you through that process. I actually had a brief conversation with one of those individuals this morning. I think he got it right. He said there might be like 2 or 3% of the information that I need to know I can learn today, but hopefully that'll guide them down the right path. We want you to learn as much as you can and see if this is right for you. We really think once you go through this process, it will be right for you and you'll proceed. It'll be great for you, your company, and your employees. Typically, we don't. If you are one of those groups and you want to stand, we'll let you stand and take a bow. Quite often, we just kind of let you do your thing and move forward. So, if there's any groups that are looking at employee ownership, thinking it may be for them, and you'd like to stand and be recognized today, we'll have you do that. They're here, so you'll have to sort them out. Thank you. Quick word back to our conference. This morning after our general session, we'll have 7 breakout sessions. One on basic employee ESOP education. This is for folks who are new to the ESOP, new to your ESOP. That's the ABC of ESOPs. We have one on culture. That will be in conference room B2 downstairs. There'll be signs. You have to kind of walk through the backside to get to that. One on administration issues, 2 on ESOP technical issues, one will be on repurchase obligations, and one will be about the new DOL or Department of Labor guidelines that have come out. We also have one for non-ESOP companies on succession planning. This is really for the owners who are considering, or the other folks who are considering transitioning to an ESOP or employee-owned cooperative. We do have, gratefully, I'm very happy we have a couple of folks who have gone through this process in those panels. So good opportunity to hear what they have to say, and then ask a lot of questions. And the one that I mentioned on employee engagement, the dynamic governance, is in the morning as well. So when you go to these sessions, you know, freely engage. The folks do want conversation. They don't want it just to be a presentation. So I encourage you to ask a lot of questions and you know, walk away. Make sure you talk to the people who can provide you the great content, get their business cards, and continue that conversation after today. So we want you to you know, really enjoy yourself today. It's a great day to celebrate employee ownership.